Welcome to the show where I'm the punctuation's punctuation. I am the epilogue's epilogue. I am the end of the words. Today, focusing on a book that I'm not really gonna. It's gonna be very quick, very concise, because it's a historical, not a novel. Kind of just what is it? What is it called? Usually it says on here. They don't have it because technically I guess it's a historical novel, but the history doesn't really need to be repeated. I don't need to tell you what happened because you do know. I may say some things that I found a little interesting, but let's get to it. Bill O'Reilly and Martin Dugard's Killing Lincoln. This is the second book in the Killing series that I've read. I read Killing Jesus first and was extremely impressed with the way Bill O'Reilly did not go into like talking about Christianity as just being the go-to. And it was very strange because he rode the line in Killing Jesus about fact versus perceived fiction. It was very, very interesting to me. But I also, in my head when I'm reading these, I imagine Bill O'Reilly writing something and Martin Dugard saying, "Bill, what?" And then Bill O'Reilly saying, "All right, change it, Marty, change it." Because in my head, I guess Bill O'Reilly is a Chicago Bears fan because that's what he would talk to Martin Dugard about, and why he would call him Marty. I don't know. These are all things. These are all possibilities. These are all things that happen in my head. But Killing Lincoln. Prologue starts with Lincoln having 16 weeks. Nope, might be 6. 16 weeks left to live, I believe. 6 weeks. It is 6 weeks. Prologue is 6 weeks left to live. And then chapter 1, I believe, is 9 days, maybe? 14 days, off in both counts. But chapter 1 starts 14 days before his death. And this leads all the way through Lincoln's conversations he had with people. Lincoln kind of predicting his own death many, many times. Lincoln kind of knew he wouldn't get out of office. Going on to some of the things I learned about Lincoln that I didn't know is that he had kind of an open door policy at the White House where if anybody wanted to come in, they could just come in. And there were often people sleeping in the hallways with a chance to meet Lincoln and a chance to like shake his hand and say hello. I also learned that Lincoln's wife was a bit of a, she probably had, by modern terms, a lot of anxiety disorders and a lot of it seems like she was having panic attacks all the time. Also, I learned more about the forfeit, not the word at all I want to use. The forfeit is not the word. When Grant won the war, if you will, when Robert E. Lee. Forfeit is the only word in my head, and it's irritating me to no end. I'm gonna move on, or I'm gonna yell. So I'm gonna move on. Let's move on. Some of the people in this book that I didn't know had such of a big stake in what happened. There was a kind of a Confederate bar in D.C. Run by, I believe her name was Mary Stuart. I'm gonna check that out real quick just to make sure. I'm pretty sure it was Stuart. Nope, Surratt. Mary Surratt. The Surratts owned this kind of Confederate sympathizer bar in D.C., which was kind of the hub of where all the planning was going on, where all of the unrest was happening, if you will, where this was all planned, where everybody was going to, they had to take everybody out at once. That's how it had to be. They had to take out most of the cabinet. And John Wilkes Booth, being the theatrical man that he was, wanted to do it in this grand way, had such a grand plan. When he did the deed, he jumped off of the balcony and snapped his ankle on the stage, which kind of is the best performance he could have ever done. Not the killing of Lincoln. Nope, not at all what I wanted to mean. But the snapping of the ankle kind of is his whole plan in a nutshell, where it wasn't very thought through, didn't really think of who he had with him, just kind of took everybody that would help him into it. Eventually has like a standoff in a barn, and a guy without being told to fire shoots him, kills him. But if there was two people in this book I would want to learn more about, it would be Mary Surratt and Surratt's son, because Surratt's son actually disappeared as soon as his mother was arrested, and was very, very just mysterious. He was gone. He ran away to Europe. He was kind of questioned, but nobody ever touched on it. But they said that he probably could have saved his mom's life had he come to the jail and said something in her defense. But she was, and I believe remains to this day, the only female ever executed by the United States government. So, interesting family I'd like to learn more about. But Killing Lincoln stays in that vein of politically accurate, not politically. I believe it's historically accurate in that it doesn't go into conspiracies. It doesn't reach farther than you would expect it to. It seems to all be very on point and very thought through, very thought out. I think that this Killing series is great. I'm not a fan of Bill O'Reilly personally, but maybe Martin Dugard holds him in check. Maybe Bill O'Reilly understands that you're not going to sell a Killing Lincoln book, or you're going to sell more books if you're not spouting crazy right-wing shit, and if you can appeal to both sides by going with a neutral stance. And there is no political stance in here, other than there are a few times it seems like Bill O'Reilly says, "Yeah, Wilkes is doing a great job. He's doing great things." That's the only time it seems a little interesting, is when maybe that's just the style of writing for the time, where to kind of get you to see it from both sides. But for the most part, Booth is portrayed as just a madman, and everybody he works with is a drunkard. The key point in this that I didn't know is that the guy who was supposed to be guarding the door to Lincoln's balcony actually came to work late, and after he sat down, he said, "I need a drink," and he went over to the bar next door. Where now this is the part where it's a little muddy. I don't know how they would have figured this out. He actually had a beer with Booth. Booth had a beer there before he went over, and like sat down beside Lincoln's bodyguard, who was at the bar, who disappeared, by the way, um, after the assassination happened. He kind of disappeared. I wish I could remember the name of the man who tried to kill the. Was it the Secretary of something? But he jumped in. He ran into the house where the guy was already injured from many from a carriage accident, so he was held up in bed. And the guy comes in and attacks everybody in the house. Everybody attacks the butler, if you will, attacks the son, attacks a girl, it might be his daughter, his granddaughter that's in there, and attacks him himself, stabs the dude in the face. Nobody died. This guy was in there wielding this crazy knife, had a gun, and couldn't kill anybody. Which also kind of the whole scene in a nutshell, kind of the whole idea in a nutshell, because it was just they were just winging it. But I like the Killing Lincoln books. Nope, only one. I like the Killing series. I thought Killing Lincoln was really good. I really want to read Killing Kennedy. I really want to read Killing Nixon. There's one more out there somewhere. Might be more than one. But I'm interested to read more Killing books because I like them. I think they're written in a way that even if you aren't into the history stuff as much, there's a story there that can get you involved into it, so you don't have to worry about caring, and you don't have to worry about being just attacked with facts and attacked with opinions that you may or may not agree with. It's kind of just they lay it out there, but it's in a story fashion, so it's easy to take and it's easy to palate. I'd give Killing Lincoln a 8.5 out of 10 because I really enjoyed it. And that's it. Thank you for watching. Really got to find a better way to end this, right? So if I'm the end of the words, and I'm the epilogue's epilogue, and I'm the punctuation, what's at the end? What's at the end of that? That blank page that nobody knows what it's for? Sure. Enjoy the blank page.